Most traders fail prop firm challenge because they have no idea what actually works. I'm not here to sell you a mindset. I've been running a prop firm for over 3 years and I have evaluated hundreds of challenge accounts, and I know what makes the difference between a trader who passes and makes money versus one who rage quits after just a couple of days. In this video, I'm going to share with you the data-backed blueprint that will help you get one step closer to passing your prop firm challenge. Real stats, real habits, and real mistakes. Let's get into it. Lesson number 1. 1 out of 5 traders fail for an incredibly predictable reason, a reason that literally within 5 minutes of watching this, you can implement to transform your trading. When it comes to data, specifically 17% of all failed evaluations are due to hitting the daily loss limit. Our daily loss limit on our 1-step and 2-step challenges are 5%. So this means that 17% of traders are failing their challenges because they are losing more than 5% in a single day. I don't mean to step on any toes here, but the reality is if you ever lose more than 5% in a single trading day, you are a gambler, not a trader. The difference being traders are risk managed and gamblers have no risk managed. They put it out the back door. And so this is the easiest lever you can pull to separate yourself, to give yourself a 20% boost to not fall into this category. And this reminds me that most traders don't fail because of their strategy. Of course, it does happen. Traders are learning. It's an incredibly difficult craft. But this proves that 1 in 5 traders are simply failing because they keep trading after a big red candle. So the question is, are you going to let your emotions destroy weeks of progress? And this is a post-it note quote that you should write down and put it on your laptop when you are trading. Because part of what makes trading so insanely frustrating is that you can work for weeks or even months. You can stack up progress, you can make money, only to lose all of that progress within an hour or less. It's so painful. I have been there so many times. I have seen hundreds of traders do the same, and you don't want to put yourself in that situation. You don't want to be in a situation where you are going to destroy weeks or months of progress because you let your emotions dictate your trading decisions. You have to be stoic. You have to be like a monk. It's the only way you're going to make money. And unfortunately, 1 out of 5 traders are losing money because they don't have that discipline. So keep that in mind. If you want to dive into, or we can dive into quickly, the different reasons that traders break or fail their challenges, we're super transparent at Lark Funding. I've wanted to be transparent from the very beginning. So this is stuff that the vast majority, 99% of prop firms don't share with you. So you can see here that the maximum drawdown is the reason that 65% of traders are failing their challenge. So if it's a 2-step challenge, they've hit the 10% drawdown limit. If it's a 1-step challenge, they've hit the 6% drawdown limit, so on and so forth. So 65% are failing due to the max drawdown. 17%, as we discussed, are failing due to the daily loss limit. 11% are hitting the inactive time. So our broker enforces a 30-day inactivity rule. So traders all the time will email us saying, hey, by mistake, I didn't take a trade. No problem. We reactivate all of those accounts. So you can ignore this 11%. They'll fall into one of these buckets here. Manual breach is just if somebody purchased the wrong account, we have to send them a different one. So again, this one here will also fall into one of these 2 buckets. Maximum time, I don't even know why that's there. You can see it's the tiniest sliver. I think we might have created a demo account that had a 30-day time limit or something. Surrender is a little bit interesting. It's super small. You can't even see the percentage. It's probably like 2%. And that's on a 3-step challenge. So you can surrender your account. So if you are close to hitting the maximum drawdown limit, you can surrender your account. And in doing so, you receive a 75% discount code. So a very small number of traders will use that. So the big numbers you have to look at here are 65% and 17%. So 65%, how to avoid that is a completely different video, but that daily loss limit, that 17%, literally, now that you've watched this section of the video, you can never, ever fall into that category because I know you're going to implement what I just said. Fingers crossed, at least. So lesson number 2 is connected to how I pass 700K challenges. So just for a little bit of proof for those of you that don't know me or might be new to the channel, in 2020, 2021, I quit my job to pursue full-time trading. I passed 400K FTMO challenges before starting Lark Funding. So you can see here, that was I think that was my first payout. That was my largest single payout with FTMO. These screenshots here are in November and December when I recorded videos on passing more 100K challenges with Lark Funding. So I shared all the trades, all the wins, all the losses. So that's just a little bit of proof before we get into lesson number 2, which is how I passed these challenges. It's that traders who reduce risk by 50% while in drawdown are dramatically more likely to pass. So to just back up one step, when I took my 400K challenges with FTMO, I didn't fail a single one. I passed all 4 of them. Now, why is that? It's not because I'm some amazing trader. I don't have Nancy Pelosi insider trading insight. No, the reason why I passed is because I'm very, very disciplined. But beyond that, it's because anytime I am in drawdown, I reduce my risk by half. Now, some of you watch will be like, oh my gosh, that's so painful. That means it's going to take me forever to pass. Yes, it will take you longer to pass, but it also means, assuming you have an edge, assuming you waited to sign up for a challenge at the right time, your odds of passing are way, way higher. Your odds of failing are way lower. So the reality is, when we dove into the stats at Lark, most traders, they keep risking the full size, or they keep risking their usual lot size after a losing streak. And that just means you're compounding failure, right? If you have a 1% loss and then you continue to risk the exact same amount, you're losing more than 1%, or you'll continue to lose 1%. And that just compounds over time. You don't want to compound failure. You want to compound success. And it's hard to do that when you keep digging yourself a deeper and deeper hole. So our top payout traders, they often size down when equity dips, not up. So you want to get aggressive when things are going well, when you are up, and then you want to get defensive when you are down. But unfortunately, most traders, they only like to play offense. They don't like to play defense. But any great sports team, they have a strong defensive arsenal in their back pocket team, whatever you want to call it. You need to know how to play offense in trading. You also need to know how to play defense, and playing defense is something that I have seen many traders struggle with. So the tip here is, when you're down more than 2%, cut your position size by half until you are back near break even. This transformed my trading. I'm not just speaking from a high level, broad sense of, oh, maybe you should try this. This literally worked for me. It is how I passed my challenges, and I've seen it work time and time again for other traders. You need to have discipline. You need to have patience to implement it. But if you have those things and you implement it, I promise you, not financial advice, but I promise you that you will have more momentum, you'll have more success when it comes to taking these challenges. Lesson number 3, the plan you choose matters. So trading is hard enough. You don't want to make it harder on yourself by selecting the wrong prop firm challenge. Okay, so let's look at the actual data behind it, because the title of this video is not clickbait. I want to give you some specific numbers. So our one-step challenge has the highest pass rate at 12%, which makes sense because it's the most straightforward format. So on our one-step challenge, you have to make 10%. You make 10%, there's no other phases that you have to pass. You've literally passed the challenge and you're going to get your master account. Okay, so our one-step challenge being the highest pass rate makes sense because it's straightforward, but it also makes sense because the drawdown is lower at 6% as opposed to the 10% max drawdown on our two-step, which is sort of a filter for experienced traders. I think part of the reason why the one-step has the highest pass rate is because more experienced traders are signing up for it, and that tighter drawdown is not hurting them. They have the ability, they have the skill to pass. And so 12%. But just because it has the highest pass rate doesn't mean it is the best for everyone. So this is how I kind of think about things, how I thought about things for myself when I was taking my challenges. The one-step challenge is best for experienced, disciplined traders who can handle tighter rules, and they don't need a big buffer or a big drawdown buffer, right? So if the max drawdown is 6%, if you're a newer trader, that could get into your emotions. That could be a little bit tricky. Whereas a two-step works great if you have experience, but you need more room to breathe. So if you want that 10% drawdown because it's going to be less stressful on you, because you're still learning, your system might not be totally dialed in, that larger drawdown can be a huge game changer. The difference between the one-step and the two-step, it's like 2% in terms of pass rate. So it's not crazy, but still you need experience for the two-step because it's 2 phases, right? So it's 8% and 5%. So you need to earn more. You need to make more than on the one-step, which is just a 10% target. Okay, so something to keep in mind. As for the 3-step, okay, we have a 3-step challenge at Lark Funding. The targets are 5%, 4%, 3%. We're the only prop firm that I'm aware of to offer this. So you might be thinking, oh my gosh, 1 step's hard enough, 2 steps hard enough. Why on earth would I ever take a 3-step? And I'll tell you, it has no daily loss limit and it is much more affordable, which means if you like to get aggressive with no daily loss limit, 3-step is good for you. If you like to save money, 3-step is good for you. And it's also a great tool to actually learn. So if you want to take a smaller challenge, cost less money, and you want to use it as a learning opportunity, 3-step is absolutely ideal. So tip here is you have to be honest with yourself. Don't just sign up for a 2-step 100K because it's the gold standard, right? Literally take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, scroll through Prop Firm Match, not affiliated. Great website to look at different prop firm challenges if you don't want to sign up for one at Lark Funding. Just take a little bit of time, ask yourself, what is going to lead to me having the highest odds and highest chances of success? But please don't just sign up for a challenge that is cheap, because it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because prop firms are implementing impossible rules just so that they can offer and sell you a cheap challenge. If you see a 500K or if you see a 100K instant funding account for $500, just run super, super fast, because it's nonsense. Okay, lesson number 4, news trading. So the entire way we positioned ourselves at Lark is to be more flexible, to have easier rules. So no consistency rules, no news restrictions. And so you might be thinking, well, no news restrictions. That's fantastic. I can trade the news. And you can, but what does the data show? And the data is absolutely clear. As a whole, news trading is not profitable. Why? Because it's pure gambling. You have no idea what the NFP print is going to be. You have no idea what the CPI print is going to be. So if you're in a position or you take a position, it's pure gambling. You have no idea which way the market is going to move. So unless you have Nancy Pelosi insider data, it's literally gambling. So on top of that, volatility, right? During these windows, it creates slippage, emotional misfires. In there, emotional trading is huge. And it just leads to drawdown breaches. So if you want to pass, don't trade news events. And it comes back to having that discipline. Just because you can risk 4.99999% in a single day, just because you can trade news, doesn't mean you should. Time and time again, it comes down to being a monk, being a stoic, and enforcing these rules on yourself that lead to quality over quantity. So remember, sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. So news trading, it is not helping you. If you want to pass a challenge, the data is clear. Stay away from red news events. Lesson 5, funded traders rarely get there on the first try. If you're watching this and you've been struggling, you're feeling a little discouraged, you're not sure if trading's for you, you're not sure if prop firms are for you, here is a stat that hopefully can uplift you. On average, a trader needs to take 3 challenges before they get a funded account. It is rare that a trader will sign up for a challenge and on their very first one, they'll pass, and on their very first funded account, they'll receive a payout. It's rare. It does happen. Of course, you could be the outlier, but statistically, on average, it takes 3 evaluations before earning a funded account. So if you're struggling, remind yourself of this. Trading is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Are you in it for quick gains? If you are, that's going to be difficult. But if you're willing to learn the craft, have the discipline to really develop the long-term skill of trading, of pulling money out from the markets, you need to have that long-term mindset. And this stat supports that, right? Don't think that your first challenge is going to be, the key to unlocking riches, because it rarely is. You have to be in this game for a while. So too many traders fail once and they decide that they're not good enough. Oh, trading's not for me. And I see it all the time. Traders will be close to passing their first challenge, then they'll fail. I'll reach out to them, or a team member will reach out to them. Hey, what happened? Are you not taking another challenge? And I'll say, wasn't for me. I'm not taking another one. But they were literally 1 or 2 or 3% away from passing. It's too bad to see. But if you adopt that long-term mindset, I think you'll be able to avoid that trap. So in reality, passing a challenge is a skill and it takes reps. You're not going to go to the gym one time, you do 10 bicep curls and you'll see, oh my gosh, my biceps aren't, 18 inches. This is a scam. I'm never coming back. No, it takes reps. It takes time. So tip here is reframe your failed challenge as a $100 coaching session. What did you learn? So if you're not ready to take a challenge, you failed when you signed up and you dropped $1,000 on a challenge, that really hurts. So know when it's time to take a challenge properly, and reframe it. Reframe any failed challenge or any losing trade as a coaching session, as a learning opportunity. And that is going to make all the difference, because it ultimately comes down to mindset. I hate getting to mindset stuff, But the reality is you need to have a long-term mindset in life, in trading, in everything if you're going to compound those gains, if you're actually going to build anything meaningful. If you're looking to take a prop firm challenge at Lark Funding, we've been in business for over 3 years. We have the easiest, most transparent rules in the industry. If you have any questions about this, about Lark, about anything, drop them down below. I appreciate you making it this far. I really, really do. If there's other types of videos that you'd like to see about prop firms, about my trading journey, drop the comments down below. I read all of them, even the ones that aren't as nice, but that rarely happens. But I hope you guys are doing well. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, peace.